My dear Watson, the game is afoot.
Righto, Holmes. Let me just grab my bag. I'll get right on it.
Pip, 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 cheerio, and all that nonsense.
You are the man with the brain. I appreciate you on this one.
Oh, I love it so much. Hello, all my little wankers out there. No, just kidding.
They're not very little wankers, if you know what I mean.
God, it's really well. It's late for JBL. It's not late for me, but like I am fading and I am going mad. We all go mad here at the
Oh,
Progressive Reviews.
just grab some
Your
snow like I have. You'll be fine.
okay. Well, on that little lovely note, hello everyone, and welcome back to BC Wrestle Pod, and welcome to the I would say it's the first, but technically it's the second. But welcome to the Progressive, your Progress Wrestling post-show breakdown here at the BC Wrestle Pod. Of course, my name is Mikey, and I am the proprietor of all things Progress and British wrestling, as it has now become one of my favorite
I
international
think
brands to
I
cover.
honestly, Mikey, you've adopted every other international brand as you are now the person, the expert in all this. You watch all of them, you take them all in. Listen to this man. He does know what he's talking about, even though he never sleeps. Oh no. Oh no.
I mean, I watch everything, but I am happy to be joined this evening by the lovely, session IPA. JP. I couldn't even finish it.
Sorry.
It's all good, but JVL is here, and I appreciate him. He and okay. Let give to
We're missing
behind the
two other
scenes.
people.
We're missing two other people. We are missing Kilt and we are missing Andrew. Kilt is a little bit under the weather, which I feel really bad because Homeboy went through a whole D&D game with me yesterday. And I
Yeah,
was
well,
just
he
like,
had
oh,
priorities, apparently.
apparently. And then, of course, Andrew, unfortunately, his schedule didn't allow him to watch the event. Um, yeah, but Kilt and JVL are our newest members to the Progress team here at BC Wrestle Pod. This originally started with me and Andrew, and then we kind of just went from there. Andrew indoctrinated me into the independent wrestling scene and some of these international stuff. And here we are now covering Progress Wrestling. Specifically, we're here to cover chapter 189 and Darkest Night. So this is the first official 2026 show in the lovely electric ballroom. And I'm so excited to talk about all the things that happened because this was a show that was wrestling and it existed. Because I have questions, Progress, but like,
Well, I also say it existed because half of it you couldn't see. Like, I
oh
love when
Lord,
Progress does some stuff like that, and I know how their lighting usually works. There were some definite issues with the lighting this time. There had to be.
I'm just sitting here and I was just like, and guys, we talk about this all the time. Thankfully, the mics were a little bit better, but not by much because I'm just like, y'all gotta fix these mic issues. We've talked about this, you guys. Get it together. But I'll still watch you every month though, because I love you. Um, but yeah, before we jump straight into In Darkest Night, really quickly, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick is where you can find our lives, and the YouTube also has edited videos of everything that happens. The most recent one, even though the live was on Friday, we've dropped the edited version of our TNA Genesis review, where me and Papa also talked about the pay-per-view, talked about our thoughts of the AMC premiere, and I got to get some behind the scenes story with Papa also in, boots to the ground in person, and also showing him pictures that I grabbed for screenshots during the review, be like circling him in the editing bay, be like, here he is.
Was super cute. I watched part of that last night, and I really enjoyed what was going on with it. So yeah, definitely check out the edited version. It's a lot of fun there. I will say it's no grapple gurus here. No mystery wrestling stuff here, but still
Mystery Wrestling is also out here. Be like, hey, we got like 16 shows coming up in the next 2.5 months. You're good to go. Evil Uno, I sensed something coming because we have 22. You just announced 24, but I was just like, is 23 an unlucky number? Because we are missing that numerically speaking.
we haven't missed it yet. There has been bubbling up talks about 23, but I don't know. There's some stuff's going on here.
Yeah, so, but again, that's where we watch all of our stuff. more importantly, if you're looking for a little bit more manageable social media, BC shop, BC Wrestle Pod shop.fourthwall.com. And we have a coffee bot to help pay for all these streaming services and pay-per-views. So donate if you feel obligated to.
We
Because
definitely need it for Progress right now. We just had to get a new one for this one. Jeez, I'm crow.
I was just like, Progress, you lied to me. I love you, but damn. I will keep that other one though, because that for sure, it seems like if I'm gonna watch Defy, I'm gonna need to keep that. I was just like, damn. Alrighty, enough with all of that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of everything. So, before we even get into the first match, as I'm super happy to always report, we officially start our shows every single time with our lovable Progress Wrestling MC and Mr. Jerry Blakewell. God, I love Jerry.
He is very entertaining, and like having seen like clips of it here and there, I didn't realize how he carried the whole show. Great job overall. I'm in awe of him.
And the funny thing is Jerry gets in the ring and he usually runs down the card, does his canned bits with the crowd before, getting on with the show with our first match. But Jerry doesn't even get too far because man like Derice's music hits and Derice comes storming down to the ring. He gets on the mic, and this has been a story that has been happening all summer long, where Car Noir has been playing mind games with Derice, has been attacking Derice, and Derice has had enough of the crap. And so he calls out to Cara Noir to come out here right now so they can fight and have their match, in which Jerry tells Derice that he is not here. And so Derice is not going to wait around. So he goes backstage to go look for Cara Noir and wait for him and ambush him because it's on site with Derice.
Well, he yells out first off, "I don't believe you" to Jerry. He's like, "I don't care what you're telling me. I'm just going to go check anyways."
And so, spoiler alert, that's going to be a running theme over the first half of the show with Derice and Car Noir playing cat and mouse until the two eventually collide in their match, which we'll get into a little bit later. So, yeah, I love Jerry. Derice is on site. Derice is done with the games and he is looking for a fight. And I was just like, all right, Derice, you and Car Noir are scheduled for this card. So we're going to find out how that all goes down a little bit later. But JVL, we can officially get into the card itself because we kick in Darkest Night off with this match. This is a first round match for the men's Super Strong Style 16 tournament. Of course, this is Kid Lycos 2, representing one half of Lycos Gym, taking on Rev Pro's own Jay Joshua, who is also the current and new Rev Pro champion after beating Shaw Samuels not too long ago for the title.
Also a new member of the Diamond Eyes as well, having had that happen last time as well. Thank you again. Progress, one thing I'll say, having come into this completely fresh, your last times, your backup, like vignettes, everything to get me on board, this is the way you do that if you want to bring people in. It's like the comic books that I used to read as a kid. It's like a last time on, best of, and you will be right up to speed.
That's why I appreciate Progress's approach to how they do their monthly shows and calling them chapters, because it is chapters. Yeah. We get some new stuff, we're continuing some things, but it doesn't require a lot of too much buy-in to be like, okay, I'm on board. No, they'll fill you in. This is what happened last time. This is how we got here, and this is why this is happening. So we're going to talk about Diamond Eyes when we get there a little bit later with their match. But since winning the tag titles, they've been kind of running roughshod over some of our Progress talent. But yeah, so this is a first round match for the men's Super Strong Style 16. And for those of you who are unaware, Super Strong Style 16 is Progress's yearly tournament, in which the winner usually gets a championship match at the end of it. But what makes this year special, and I've been looking forward to this since the summer when former Progress women's champion Rio announced it, not only are we getting our men's tournament like we do, but this is the first year that Progress is doing a women's Super Strong Style 16 tournament too.
That was like quite a bit later on.
Yes!
It was so good this is happening. Like, it very needed. From what I saw of this entire card and knowing who's coming up on it, their roster is more densely packed in a lot of places. This is definitely something that's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, and the cool thing is too is unlike the previous years, what they're doing differently as well is that some of the men's and women's matches are also happening across the world in different independent promotions too.
Right.
And Hooked on TV has done a really good job of compiling so far, like the one or two matches. Like one of the men's matches happened to be in an independent promotion in Germany, and they were fighting it out to see who will come to Super Strong Style 16 in May. And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, that's awesome. And then, of course, we got some matches here. We're getting two more in the next two chapters of progress for men and women. So it's great. But in terms of this match, God, Jay Joshua is continuing to be one of my favorites. This kid is nuts, and he's just the brutality is great, and Kid Lycos is also great too. I love it. This was a lot of fun, and again, British catch style and British strong style wrestling collided here, and this was a really really good match.
It really
Um,
was. It was so good.
it really really was.
Also,
I
furthering the backstory between Lycos.
Oh no, we lost JVL for the hot minute.
Got it back. Got it back. Got it
Okay,
back.
good.
No, I was saying that this is pushing forward the breakup of Lycos Gym, because this really seems like that's going to be coming down the road unless Kid Lycos 2 starts to turn heel like everybody else.
100%. And Lycos too, I love you. We're gonna talk about it though, because don't be fooled by your tag team partner. um, but the match itself was getting good. Of course, Diamond Eyes were out there, and so was Kid Lycos. Jay Joshua was like, nah, guys, I got this. And then, like, sucker punch Lariat's Kid Lycos, too, at the beginning of the match. Some really strong back and forth. Jay Joshua's, like, suplexes are nasty to look at and look nasty to take, too.
He just seems like he's in that like Rampage Jackson kind of like Samoa Joe bruiser mentality. He's even wearing the Samoa Joe trunks. It's kind of funny for that reason.
It really is. And I mean, we do see kind of an homage to the Samoan Mimosa Joe because Jay Joshua gets Kid Lycos too in not necessarily the exact coquina clutch, but he holds him there. And so Kid Lycos goes running through to the backstage. He comes out with the towel. He plays around throwing it, and then he throws in the towel for Kid Lycos too, thus costing Kid Lycos to this match.
Not only he threw it in with his bad arm, the one that shouldn't have actually been hurting. Like we're seeing this, like we're seeing the underhandedness of Kid Lycos original, versus Kid Lycos diet. It's strange. And
really
I want to see where this is going to take him. Like, do we think Kid Lycos, Coke Zero is going to be joining the dark side with this, or is Kid Lycos Original Classic gonna actually just turn on this partner? Oh, I lost Mikey. Mikey, I'm confused on this. Honestly, I don't know whether or not there he is.
I'm here. Okay, we're good. No, I heard you. It's really interesting, and we kind of been slow burning this breakup since I would even say since Super Strong Style last year in May. So this has been a slow burn because Kid Lycos 2, Lycos Gym were the tag and champions going into summer, and we're pretty much all our tag champs going out of summer, thus losing the title. So in that crazy triple threat ladder match in August where Diamond Eyes won it. So we've been slow burning the breakup of Lycos Gym, or at least, friends turn enemies kind of thing. And so I'm very interested to see how long they're going to let it play out and let it slow burn, or because we got a lot of stuff coming up this year. So very interested to see. But Jay Joshua is moving on to the next round of Super Strong Style 16. And we're going to put a pin in the Lycos boys because we're going to talk about them in a little bit later.
I will say the last thing I'll say on the Lycos boys, the way Lycos Original threw in the towel was very Owen Hart. It was extremely like shot for shot. So breaking up the Hart brothers, it'll be interesting how this goes.
100%. And this would make great feuds in wrestling, which I'm so excited for this. But we continue on because we go move on from the men's super strong style 16 matches to back women's super strong style 16 tournaments. So, God, I love women's British wrestling. It is so much fun. So, we start things off because we get them back to back. So, our first of the two women's super strong style 16 first round matches sees Anita Vaughn of Hyperactive taking on Sky Smithson. And I was just like, I was like, oh, Sky looks like she's gonna beat your butt. And it was, oh God, it was so good. I have never seen Sky Smithson before, but I really enjoyed what I saw. And I was like, oh, I cannot wait for you to continue on in this tournament and give me more.
Well, and worked really well against Anita Vaughn as well. And you could tell that both of them had a little bit of rust against each other, but Sky Svensson reminded me a lot if you had like Shayna Baszler had been given more of a push, like
Hmm.
just or allowed to work in a different way. She seems very capable, and the fact that the experience in general had been out for so long, and both of them got such a great crowd reaction was just amazing to see, and I got right on board with both of them.
No, and I always say this every time, but I really love the Electric Ballroom crowd because they are really great. I love them so much. I
Yeah.
was just like, gotta love it. Of course, footballer chants are fantastic. We love them. But this was a really solid match through and through. I do agree with you that there was a little bit of rust that both had to kind of work off against each other, but then they kind of connected and just went really, really well. And then ultimately, thanks to her wrestling IQ prowess, Sky Smithson is able to kind of take advantage of Anita Vaughn and able to get the 1, 2, 3, and your winner and moving on to the next round is Sky Smithson. But I was just like claps for this match because these two put on a really solid match.
Do we think, in spoiling later on, that Sky is going to have trouble if she runs up against her partner in the Super 16, tournament?
I say yes and no, which I know feels like a cop out answer, but let me explain why.
Okay.
I say no because of the fact that they are tag team partners and and quote unquote like suspending the disbelief. If you are a tag team partner with someone, you know them pretty well in and out outside of yourself too, so you know how they operate, you know what they can do. And so they shouldn't get Sky shouldn't get too caught up, but also on the other hand, yes, because they know each other so well, they're going to have to get creative in
Right.
terms of how are you going to outmaneuver your partner who you are very familiar with, but also they are very familiar with you. So you essentially have to catch them on their toes a little bit.
I'm also going to say I was a little thrown off when this came out. When Hyperactive came out here, I'm like, is that Nixon Newell? That's not Nixon Newell, but I thought Anita Vaughn was Nixon Newell for a hot second. I was like, oh, this is odd. Nope. Sorry. Damn it.
be like be like not all British. No, I was kidding. It's
She's
okay.
Anita's Irish. Nixon is Welsh. I get it, but still.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Nixon come over in progress a little bit. I am excited though to see the return of Miss Charlie next month or in March. I'm excited. So, but this was a really fun one. So immediately we get a promo in the ring because we are supposed to get this next match, which sees, you know, LA Taylor taking
Of
on
the
Safari.
experience.
Yeah, the experience taking on Safari Reed, but Reed is not medically cleared. Progress Wrestling has not medically cleared her for this match. And she's bummed. And she's bummed that the crowd does not. Um, she's bummed that the crowd can't even be able to do that either and get a match, which then prompts the
But
mother. Okay.
she's excited though that LA Taylor is going to get to move on because again she's welcoming them back too. Hyperactive's
Mm-hmm.
really excited to see the experience and they want them to go out and have the best matches they can and they're pumping the crowd up for this. Like it's friendship, it's great. But then you're right, the mother.
The mother of Progress Wrestling has something to say about this. And of course, out comes Session Moth Martina, whom I love dearly. And she's like, no. It's just like, this power of friendship is some crap. It was just like, we're going to have, I was just like, we're going to have a match and I am going to take the place of you, Reed. And ring the bell, ding, ding, ding. So we
Well,
get
first she's like, "Get out here, boys! Boys! This is the plan. Get out here, boys! Take out!" And finally, after quite a long amount of time, G Money comes out
Gene
with
Money
it
and Koga come out.
and Koga.
And we're gonna talk about. I love this tag team. They're stupid, but I
But
love
they came
them.
out to back up Session Moth Martina because at the time, they're part of the family and they're supposed to be there. But Session Moth Martina gets in with L.A. Taylor and realizes, oh, I have bitten off way more than I thought I could.
Yep, Session thought this was going to be easy. The answer to that is no, because you also still had Sky Spitson out in the ring too. And Coca and Gene Money, God bless their souls, but they were like, I don't know if this is the right thing to do, because which is another thing that's been happening. They've been slowly turning babyface over the summer and the spring since last year has been really, really fun to watch. um, and it definitely is probably the direction they're going to after their match later in the show.
Well, I
But
also
yeah,
think that they pissed off Session Moth as well because they took her beer away from her.
how rude of them. But in an impromptu match, because this was not originally planned, I still thought it's great. Again, Session Moth is in the same category that I put Gene Money in. They've been wrestling for a while, and they are usually the ones to kind of help and break in the newbies in British wrestling too. They've been around forever. They've also been the gateway for other people to test their progress and their see what I did there and metal in the British wrestling scene. So Session Moth has a lot, and we'll also see Session Moth in March as well because that's going to be fantastic. Session Moth tried. She tried so dearly, but she could not get one over LA Taylor, and Taylor ends up winning the match and moving on to the next round for the women's Super Strong Style 16 tournament.
And she's elated. Session Moth is pissed off at Gene Money and Koga. It worked really well as a match. I thought it was a great exhibition for LA to kind of get her ring time back in. Session Moth gave her everything she could, but also took the time to wait and get her into things. It was really well put together.
100%. And shout out to Progress for making this work on the fly too, because they've done that. They've done that a couple of times last year too, where certain people weren't medically cleared, and we still got some really fun matches with impromptu. So this is like professionalism. Take notes, other promotions. I'm
Not
just
mystery
saying.
wrestling, but everything else. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Looking at you, including you, AEW, and I love you, but but this was fantastic. So this is it for our Super Strong Style 16 matches for this card.
Although we
But
got some other ones called out during it.
yes, we did. So we'll just talk about those here. So coming up we got two actually,
Yep,
one
two.
for the men's and one for the women's. On the men's side of things, because at the next chapter 190 in Brightest Day, we are getting Simon Miller versus Josh Hawley, which we also got different pre-tape promo packages from both of them. And so this has kind of been a little bit of a grudge feud that's been happening over the last couple of chapters. And they will be colliding at chapter 190 in Brightest Day in the first round match for the men's Super Strong Style 16 tournament. And then we also got the graphic too, that for the love of progress, which is about a week to 2 weeks later after In Brightest Day, we're getting Lana Austin, who is one of my favorite heels in this company because she plays comedic heel right, but she's taking on the ballsy badass of the independent wrestling scene and one of our personal favorites, Shotzi. Is the Shotzi, man. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
I have personally been jumped upon by Shotzi. I cannot love a person more than that. I mean, it's been so fun.
Shotzi is a living legend here at BC Wrestle Pod for all of us, and we love.
If we ever could get her on here, it'd be amazing.
God, we're gonna try. That is my goal this year too, because I also really want to interview Bear Bronson
Yes.
and talk to
Yes.
him because he is amazing and we love him. But those are the matches coming up at the next two chapters for progress in the Super Strong Style 16 tournament. But we still have a chunk of progress wrestling matches to go. And we officially get into what technically is supposed to be the end of the first half of the show. But we'll talk about that afterwards because we get our Progress Atlas Championship match in which we have our champion, Saxon Huxley, taking on former NXT Imperium member and one of my personal favorites, Axel Tisha is here. And I was like, Axel, I haven't seen you in a hot minute. I'm so happy you are here. And we're also going
I,
to talk
I
about your partner later too, because I was like, yes.
well, and we're sitting here going like as I watched the rest of this match. I'm like, okay, we had Axel, we had Damo. All we needed was Eric Young, and we were covered for quite a bit there.
100%. So I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, I cannot. But
this
I
is a
forgot.
Haas fight. This is a
This
huge
was a Haas
Haas
fight. Now, I am familiar with Saxon from NXT UK, but at the same time, I was like, I forgot how big this mofo is. Like, oh my God.
I think he's gotten bigger since. He had to have. But Saxon in general, what was up, Mikey? Hello?
Sorry, someone is vying for my attention right now.
Well, I'll go into it while you're talking to them. Saxon basically ends up running roughshod over this entire match. Axel was doing his best to be technically savvy with it and like putting him in a couple big holds, but it was just the main raw power of Saxon Huxley coming across that way that basically had him retain the championship. You couldn't see it any other way. And Axel, I give you mad props. You sold everything this man was throwing at you as if he was knocking you around like a cruiserweight. It was crazy.
It really was. And the commentary said this really too, because again, my entry into Progress was unboxing 2024. So the final Progress show in 2024. And then I watched all the Progress chapters in 2025. But Axel Tischer had a 400 plus day reign as Atlas champion, and thus he would end up losing that. So it changed hands in 2025. So Axel Tischer lost it to Mike the Belgian Beast, Mike DeVecchio, Mike D. We love Mike D.
Mikey D.
Mike D. Who lost it to Will Cruz, who we've seen in Mystery Wrestling, and that's because Mike D is now signed to the Fed along with a couple other European wrestlers, which I'm happy for. We got to see one of them debut last week in Mr. Achille Blanc, but it is NXT name Elio Lafleur, the French luchador, and he is an actual French luchador. It is not a character. In France, he would wrestle with the mask, so I need people to stop coming at me and telling me that I'm wrong, because you're wrong. And Andrew can back me up.
Well, Andrew's not here, so you've got to defend yourself.
Yes, I have to defend myself, which I will. Damn it. No, but then while Will was doing an excursion in Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan, Saxon was also there, and Saxon beat him for the title, and thus this is where we get this match. Haas fight. It was great. Saxon Huxley retains the championship. And I still retain him like, damn, this is a huge motherfucker.
I thought like I was very excited about this match. It went well all the way through, and I thought we were done with him. Honestly, like great, wiped it on, move on to the next one, not knowing he was going to play a big role later on in the evening.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to you, Saxon.
That's tease.
Yeah, so we're gonna tease it. So Jerry comes back, and he's gonna do like his bit for like it's the end of the first half. But oh dear God, no, because oh dear sweet baby Jesus and the grown one too.
Cara freaking Noir.
Listen, it's also very interesting too, because again, I've been following this darker turn and this heel turn for Cara Noir all of 2025. But it's really funny, like for JVL to see him be like babyface Cara Noir and to this more darker version of him here in Progress. Listen, I love that people are able to, in different promotions, are able to, they don't have to be stuck being face or heel. They can do whatever they want, and it's fantastic. But the Dark Swan is no longer the Swan. It is the Dark Swan of Progress Wrestling. Cara Noir comes out playing mind games. And Darius promised it was on site as soon as he saw it, and on site it was. We didn't even go to break right now because we just jumped straight into the Progress Men's World Championship match.
So we're getting this midway through the night. I had to pee. I had to put it on hold because I know probably people when they're watching it live had to pee. It's so tough to do that. But this match didn't start for a good 15 minutes. They just brawled around the arena first before the bell even rang.
It was insane. And like, chaos is the best way to describe this match. Like, this was not even a championship match. They were just out for blood and trying to destroy each other. And like, chairs diving from the stage. We had a sledgehammer. It was pure chaos. And the match ended in disqualification. So Darius gets to keep his title.
Well, let's not
But
even do that. So they went back and forth on that. There were many behind the back things, ref bumps everywhere else. Kara basically forearms the ref out of oblivion. And then I loved this. I loved this little bit that only if you're a wrestling fan you get this and you're like, yes, there is continuity. There is actually logic to this. Kara ends up dropping Darius, pins him, waving for another ref to come out. The ref comes out and automatically calls the disqualification. Doesn't count the pin, doesn't do anything else. Like in the other feds where they didn't see it backstage. I'm coming down to hell. Even though I know someone got knocked out, I'm coming to... No, they saw it. They come out and go, no, you're not getting away with that. And they disqualify him. That is brilliant. That is actual logic in your sports entertainment.
thank God. I swear, man, these international promotions kind of know how to get it together when it comes to that kind of stuff. It's really,
They've got to be
good.
different somehow and actually showcase why you should watch them, and that's the reason.
100%. So, second ref comes out, caused the disqualification, but we were not done with the chaos because Car Noir was still not having it. Because so let's go through the red shirts come out, which by the way, shout out to the red shirts, and what they actually say is like, here to help.
Well, on top of the fact also, I don't know if I'm assuming Progress actually does this on purpose. It is such a good Star Trek reference because all the fodder you send at these people as they get beat up and killed are the red shirts, just like the ones that die in Star Trek.
It is so good, but the red shirts come out. Car Noir is fighting them all off. It is insane. And then Progress Wrestling executive producer Betsy gets in the ring and she eats
she ate it hard. She ate it hard.
It's so beautiful. I was just like, love Betsy. We love her in this household. But like, Car Noir is just like, it is. I mean, he's already the Dark Swan, but now we have gone into the darkest timeline for him. Now he attacked the executive producer, man.
There's going to be a fine. There's going to be something happening from this.
Something's going to happen, but oh no, we weren't done yet because Car Noir was still attacking Darius after all of this. And who should come out to quote unquote save Darius but Lycos Jim? Specifically, Kid Lycos 2 has beef with Car Noir. Kid Lycos is kind of helping. And then when they chase off Car Noir, though, this is where we get the true intention because as Kid Lycos 2 is helping Darius up and Kid Lycos picks up that title with Darius and Lycos 2 having a conversation and kind of all that happening, he was staring at it with envy. And I was just like, oh my God, here we go.
Yes, he went full Gollum. He went full Gollum. It
was so good. It was fantastic. And so Darius sees this. He grabs the title from Kid Lycos. Kid Lycos tries to feign ignorance, but Darius calls him out on his bullshit. Like on the ring, they have a bit of an argument. They start shoving each other. And then Kid Lycos 2 goes down because they're hitting each other. And while Kid Lycos 2 is down, he doesn't see that his tag team partner is a liar. Like his elbow is fine. He is hitting Darius with it. There is metal in that, brace. And it is. And then when Lycos 2 comes to, Kid Lycos is feigning that Darius attacked him for no reason and was super aggressive. And he is none the wiser. And I was just like, layers to stories. Yes.
This is long-term storytelling, better than some other places.
God, I love Progress. Thank you for not insulting my intelligence as a wrestling fan.
Yeah, totally.
So we have so many places to go. Darius and Kara are not done by any stretch of the imagination. But now, not only do you have Lycos Jim on the brink of breaking up, but you also have Kid Lycos and Darius interacting. Kid Lycos 2 and Darius. You have 3 challengers and feuds right there spanning this year. And God, I am so ready.
Why do I see a triple threat between Lycos Jim and Man Like DeReese for the title?
I mean, that would probably be the good subsidiary feud before we get Kara and Derice Part 2,
Yeah.
which I'm so excited. I cannot wait. So then we officially get Jerry to come back, and then we officially go into our break for the
Oh my
show.
gosh.
I
And
was
then
just like,
Jerry comes back afterwards to like promote like a wrestling general manager game that I kind of want to play now.
right. Shout out to everything. Also, shout out to WrestleVerse for sponsoring In Darkest Night too.
Yep.
WrestleVerse. And I would like to plug WrestleVerse because they're not paying us. But WrestleVerse is where you can watch lots of really great international and independent wrestling too. WrestleVerse is where you can find like, our TGAPW girls, our DDT Pro Wrestling, Mighty Gold. It is amazing stuff. Like, it is fantastic. Go check it out. Love you, WrestleVerse. So we get into like our 20-minute break where they air all the ads and the previews and stuff again, telling us like the next chapter is in Brightest Day for the Love of Progress 4. And then they also announced, and I will put Jerry's announcement in this too, that in March we get our chapter for March, which is Cause and Effect. And the tagline is every action has consequences. And Jerry announces that the one legendary Miss Mercedes Martinez will be wrestling at Cause and Effect in March. And I was just like, listen, last year it was Seiko Satomura who was on a retirement tour before she retired in April last year. Mercedes Martinez has let it be known that this is her final year wrestling, period. So she is going all out. God, I hope it's Mercedes versus Rio because that match.
I think you're calling it early, and I think you're right on it. I think it's going to be a huge thing there, and Mercedes is going to do the deed for Rio, and it's going to be amazing.
Well, because Rio also was the one that they put against Meiko Satomura in her retirement tour too. So I'm like, Rio is that girl. We love Rio in this household.
This has been a year of immense change, and it's nice to see it's not just at the top of the cards and the top of the companies. Everyone, there's this like entire class of wrestlers who are finally leaving the business, and it seems like it's the right time for it. It's a real changing of the guard, and this just cements it.
Oh, 100%. And I'm looking forward to Mercedes in March for Cause and Effect. Heck yes. So we come back from break and we can get into the second half of the card. And we kick things off with our tag team championship match.
Holy cow.
First of all, I want to talk about presentation, right? Because listen, I love the Session Moth family. They are ridiculous, and I love every single one of them. Look at this picture. The chapters to G Money and Koga. I know him. Money is so good. Money.
It looks like a bad Sears
But
photo.
let me tell you, it's so good. But so they're out. They come out like Session Moth is there. Love them. They're fantastic. The parties are great. But let me tell you, this presentation for Diamond Eyes though, and their outfits, I was like, woo!
I feel like you became a new fan.
Well, I am vaguely familiar with Diamond Eyes, but I was like, listen, presentation and ring gear go hand in hand for me. Not only do I like good wrestling, but I like good character definition. And if your ring gear automatically gives me the vibe immediately, then that is awesome. So whoever made their gear, whether it's Diamond Eyes who made their gear or somebody else, shout out to y'all because yes, presentation matters in wrestling. I don't care what nobody says. But then we get into the match and I love tag team wrestling.
Well, I have not seen Koga in a very long time. I was blown away by how well he was working, not only in the tag team setup, but also like keeping his character going around with Gene Money and everything else. This was really well done. Diamond Eyes worked like a well-oiled machine. They were all over the map. It was perfect.
Yeah, Connor Mills and Nico Vance, man, they are. I know it would never happen, but probably I would like them and FTR to go at it one time. I was just like, Lord, because they are on a tear right now in the British wrestling scene. But ooh, what a match! This was so great, and I was just like, we still, of course, we got the comedy spots too with Gene Money and the nipples.
Oh, yep. Well, they're taped up for a reason.
Love to see it. Koga, I really do love Koga coming over from Pro Wrestling Noah to be a part of this too, which has been really, really fun. Um, but we get towards the tail end of this match, and I knew it was too good to be true, but like Gene Money is getting that he's about to get this 3 count, and I'm like, oh my god, are we about to see this? But
I thought so
no.
too.
I was like, in 2.99999 seconds, as the ref is about to hit the mat for the 3, Session Moth Martina pulls the ref out of the ring. The crowd immediately starts booing her to high heaven. Gene Money looks distraught. Koga doesn't understand why this is happening. Session Moth just ups and leaves. Gene Money and Koga try to keep it together against Diamond Eyes, but Diamond Eyes are able to take advantage of the momentary distraction and betrayal of Session Moth Martina to pick up the 3 counts and retain their Progress World Tag Team Championships.
Such a reversal, not knowing anything going into it that she would do that, and then having her reasoning afterwards was even crazier. Like, again, it felt like this was not a spur of the moment thing for her, but for everyone else involved, this was completely like blindsiding them. Even Saxon Huxley, who came right back out to do more damage.
Well, let's get into it too. So Gene and Koga are, Diamond Eyes and have left. Gene and Koga are trying to, the crowd is clapping for them. They're giving each other pats on the backs. They're like trying to figure out what to do next. Session Moth comes out and she, not even a scathing promo, but I was just like, oh, this is by the end of this, I was like, ooh, Session Moth, I hate you. But
Mm-hmm.
good job, girl. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, this is an effective promo. And it's just not like because it's not like the typical promos that I'm used to seeing when it comes to this type of dynamics. It's like, I'm the star, all these things. She literally, to summarize this, she's like, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed because Koga and Gene Money don't listen to her.
Nope.
They don't do what they're supposed to. They're doing their own thing. I was just like, we're getting a little bit to controlling, but you know what? Evil stepmom vibes. I dig it.
She needs to be the one in control, and then when she's not listened to, she snaps. Like, it makes complete sense.
And so she essentially ousts Gene and Koga. Be like, you're gonna have to learn your lesson. They turn around and Session tells them, your cousin is gonna help me teach you a lesson. And as Gene and Koga turn around, who should be there but cousin Saxon Huxley, who is now the newest member of the Session Moth family, and lariats the poor baby face holes out of them. I was like, my god.
Who better for Session Moth than a giant enforcer who's also a champion?
Mm-hmm.
And seeing her holding that championship after the beatdown, really taking on as if she's won this, it was so annoying in the best way, and so much like, yes, we do not like you, but as we shouldn't.
But what makes me super excited about this is that this gives everybody, Session, Saxon, Gene, Koga, something to go with. Gene's gonna want to get back, and now you have a feud for that for the Atlas Championship. And what I would love to see, I don't want to call it now, but I think Gene will try, he will fail. Koga will try and he will fail. And when Session Moth thinks she's gotten the better of the two, I think the former champion and former member of the Session Moth family and Will Cruz comes back to help Gene and Koga because he still has a rematch against Saxon at some point as being the former champion before Saxon beat him for the title. So I'm like, we love professional wrestling and continuity and storylines that make sense.
It's so nice to see it well executed. And you know what? If the other companies don't want to learn, that's their own thing.
That's their fault. Like I tell my students, that's your fault.
Mm-hmm. That's why they all fail. Anyhow.
But yeah, this was such a good match, and honestly, not to say I didn't believe Andrew to begin with, but I really do appreciate it. I really appreciate Andrew in the sense that he is, our tag team person that we say he is our tag team specialist. And honestly, I'm really glad he's here because God, I love tag team wrestling, especially when it's done right.
Well, and also especially Andrew can explain it in such better ways too. Like I'm very sad he's not here tonight to be able to talk about this match, but we will get more from him. Maybe he'll be able to give us some insight that we can bring to the pod later on. So it'll be great.
Yeah. So we're going to keep this going because then we get into our semi main event of the show.
Oh.
Okay. So let me set this up, right? So 2 chapters ago, the Vulture of Progress, Spike Trevay, makes his grand return after almost a year and a half away from the Progress ring. And Andrew can attest to this. He gets tired of me saying it. And some of the other BC Wrestle Pod boys get tired of me saying this too, but I hold hard to this. Spike Trevay.
Sorry.
Spike Trevay and Cara Noir's epic feud over the Progress Men's World Championship is one of my favorite feuds in the modern era of wrestling over the last 3-4 years. And Spike Trevay made his return 2 chapters ago, but now he's kind of on a penance tour, which is a character in professional wrestling that we don't see that often. And if we do, it's never done the way that I feel like it's supposed to. But so far, I've been really enjoying this kind of turn because Spike Trevay in his feud with Cara Noir was the ultimate heel. And in that feud, not only did Spike Trevay play mind games, he took Cara's identity. He won the right to keep Cara Noir from dressing in his full regalia when he was a wrestler. And then that epic steel cage match that kind of was the final nail in the coffin of that feud. Good storytelling. But in that time away, now Spike Trevay returns, still in the Vulture form of his character, but now the penance tour is beginning because now he is facing wrestlers he has wronged in this company during those year and a half of him being champion. It started last chapter when he took on Drilla Maloney of all people too. That was a nutty match. I was just like, Drilla.
I can believe it.
And then in this chapter in Darkest Night, he is fighting one of his other demons in the form of one of my personal favorites, lovely individuals, and Mr. Nikki Cross himself and Mr. Big Damo. God, I've missed Damo on my screen so much.
Damo still moves like a cat. It is so insane to watch him work. And Trevay gave him a great foundation to just start mopping the floor. This was like one of those epic big man panels in a comic book where you just see the kind of anti-hero who's over-muscled and completely juiced up just dragging someone through the concrete and just laying into them the entire way. Gosh, it was wonderful to watch.
Okay, yeah. I was just like, I love this match so much. I was just
I even loved even having to wait through nearly 5 minutes of intro for Spike Trevay to get down to the ring.
Again, presentation is really, really solid. And yeah, this match was so good. Oh my God. I was just like, guys, this is how we can do matches that don't require titles on the line. Like, just let people fight. I'm just saying.
Right.
So Spike Trevay again on the losing end because Big Damo's finisher here. I was like, ooh!
And they brought up on commentary, he doesn't do it that often because it hurts his arms and hurts everyone else getting him up there. His back isn't what it used to be, and so that's huge that he would use it on him.
Oh my gosh, it was nuts. But Big Damo kind of puts the end to his demon of Spike Trevay. At the end of it, Big Damo still has a little bit of a heated exchange with Spike Trevay, but he has kind of, closed that chapter and he can officially move on and no longer have to look behind him now that Spike Trevay has been beaten by Big Damo. But we were not done because Big Damo is walking up the ramp to head backstage, who should come out but another big UK man himself. There's a lot of big UK men. There's a lot of meaty men in this match. And Big Damo, hey, Nikki Cross is a very, very lucky woman. Um,
Hey, everybody else. Mikey has a type: big, bald, and very big bearded.
I was just like, listen, I'm not the only one because I sent a picture of Big Damo to Papa Oso and he was like, yes. It is so good. No, but as Big Damo is walking up the ring, who should come out but another big man here in progress and Bullet. I was like, Lord Almighty, here we go.
Well, and
And I was
you find
just
out from commentary that Bullet was his bodyguard, with Spike Gervais like basically the guy that did
the
the dirty
whole
work for him.
championship run, which I was just like, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. And so Bullet has kind of made appearances here and there in 2025 over the couple of chapters, but he's in the ring, you know, thinking that, everybody at home, the audience is thinking everything is cool, and Bullet just bulldozes Spike Trevay, tells Spike Trevay, cuts this really, really angry promo, but not angry as in like yelling, but the hurt can be felt in every single syllable and word that is being said because Bullet is upset at Spike Trevay, not because he lost, but because he lost and he ran and has been gone for 17 months. He not only left a Bullet by himself in progress, but when Spike disappeared, so did Bullet, and he laid it into Spike saying, you took food out of my family's mouth. You took money away from my kids. You put me in a position that was one of the hardest moments of my grown adult life. And he's like, I'm coming for your head. And I was like, oh, shit.
He
I was
wants his
just like,
blood. He wants his viscera. He wants everything. He's coming for it
I was
all.
like, yes, promos, let's go. But when I thought it was all done and over with, Spike gets on this mic. And I was just like, oh, Spike, where are we going to go? Because he's still kind of a bit of a dick, right? But
Yep.
he is on the road to penance. And he's like, he starts talking. And I was like, oh, is he going to turn around? He's like, Bullet, you're absolutely right. And he apologized. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, apologies in wrestling? That's crazy talk.
And yet still is like, yeah, and we're going to fight about it, and I'm going to take the lumps that I deserve, and I'm going to take what I can, but I'm going to take you to the limit and give you the best match of my life.
Yeah, and he's like, it's not just going to be a match. I'm going to give you my blood, sweat, and tears. I was like, oh, God, are we about to see some kind of crazy stipulation match? Because I'm here for it.
Oh, we're definitely going to. It's going to happen.
I was just like, God, this match and the angle. I'm so excited. And I was just like, oh, great. This was great. Wait, what? What do you mean this was not the main event?
No,
right?
it wasn't.
I was just, no.
Well, we thought that until we watched the main event.
Because let's just get into it. Because, bitch, let me tell you, match of the night for me. Progress women's roster once again proving that this women's division in Progress be killing it. Because
this
goddamn
is on one of my rewatch for the year, up there for match of the year so far.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna set the scene. So this is in our main event, it is the Progress Women's World Championship. The challenger is Alexis Falcon, who has been on a journey to get here, and I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit, taking on our champion in one of the most punk rock people that has come across my screen, and like has made a name for herself in Progress, and Miss Rain Leverkusen. It took me a while, but I finally got to say it right. Because God, okay, let me tell you. So
I want to hear
when we were doing the end of the year awards, because I was having a hard time picking of who was my one to watch in 2026. Now, of course, I ended up going with Leon Slater because looking at him and Rain, I was like, Leon has accomplished just a little bit more in 2025, and his trajectory is great. But let me tell you, it was really hard because Rain was in contention to be mine for 2025 because she's had an incredible 2025. Let me set the scene for you too. So Rain won this title back in September, and she beat the one and only Rio for this championship, which is a feat in itself because Rio is the standard of Progress in my personal and professional, podcasting wrestling opinion. And Rain went on to have some really incredible matches against the likes of Emerson Jane, Lana Austin. She had such a baller match at Unboxing against Kanji. Like, oh my God. And then her biggest test right here was here against Alexis Falcon. Alexis, formerly with, partnering with Charles Crowley, are the amazing twat of professional wrestling. That is his moniker. It's not one that I gave him. That is what he calls himself. He is also fantastic.
I'm pretty sure it's not twat, it's twat because it's British. But yes,
that is true. But still on good terms with Charles Crowley, but needed to go on her own way if she wanted to finally get what she has been chasing for the last 5 years. And due to rivalries and injuries, she has yet to attain it. But now here she got the chance to finally get to what has eluded her the last 5 years. And hot damn,
she earned it.
She earned it because Rain was not letting her off the hook whatsoever. God, this match ruled.
It was hard hitting. It was back and forth. Alexis had to dig deep into an arsenal she didn't know she had, and Rain would not stay down. It was beautiful, beautiful pain.
I don't have a lot of notes on this because, like, I was just enthralled.
I was watching it.
I was watching it, and I know it sounds like a cop out, and I'm brown nosing Progress, but I really rarely take notes during the Progress shows because I enjoy everything. Though I do have to go on a quick rewatch and get notes down so I can talk about like the stories and everything because my writer brain that's where it goes. That's what I pride myself on here at BC Wrestle Pod. But hot damn, when the wrestling is good, it is good, and this was freaking fantastic, man. Jeez, Jiminy H Christmas.
Please go back and watch this if you get a chance to even find clips of this somewhere. It is worth every minute of your time. And then to see Alexis when she finally gets that title and is just so surprised and overwhelmed and genuinely happy. It was just such a great thing to see.
It truly was. And a long 5-year journey with delays and injuries and, storyline wise of fighting other people. She is finally the Progress Women's World Champion, but also I got to give a huge shout out to Rain Leverkusen. Even though her title reign was short, she definitely has created a space for herself to be one of the top women in this Progress Women's roster. And that is saying something given the likes that you have Alexis, Rio, Kanji,
I can also see her taking a nice long sojourn. Sorry, Mikey, we're losing you here. You're cutting in and out, but I'm just going to say that Alexis, that Ray, yeah. Don't know if we have Mikey back yet. Rain, though, could be also taking on an amazing journey, not only in Progress, but I feel like she's going to be going independent as well. You could see her end up in New Japan and Stardom, somewhere else where she's going to now have such a good reputation behind her. She is going to be the leading light in those divisions going forward. Mikey, do we have you? Kind of. You're bopping back and forth there. I think we have you.
Okay, I'm back, I think. Cool. No, but yeah, Alexis and Rain are going to have some I'm really looking forward to them and their pads in 2026 in Progress, though. But JBL, that is the end.
It is the end, Mikey. You're right. We came to the end of the night. We saw everything we needed to. There we are. You're back and running.
Okay, there we are. All right, I was like, I think we're good for the next couple of minutes, but yeah, that is chapter 189 in Darkest Night.
I thoroughly enjoy. Thank you for bringing me on, Mikey, to see this. Seriously, thank you for letting me see this. Thank you for letting me be a part of it. I could not have asked for anything more.
No, and I mean, that sums up basically what I was going to ask you as your first Progress show. Like, how'd you feel? But yeah, it just feels really good because to get a little bit of vulnerable really quickly, because of how much I've fallen in love with a lot of professional wrestling, I have come to temper my expectations because I'm biased because I watch all the stuff, especially with Progress. I've become a huge fan of Progress and all their talent. And so I was really excited to get some of the other boys to be a part of this, but also I was just like, I'm a little worried. I hope they like it because I was like, I love this, but I hope they like it at least. Like, I don't need them to fall in love with it like I am, but I was like, I hope they like it and they see what I do. But
I'm
this
coming
is a
back.
yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. And we'll be back like in 3.5 weeks or so because we will be covering In Brightest Day and For the Love of Progress 4 as well. So uh In Brightest Day is coming from the Electric Ballroom, and then For the Love of Progress is coming from another location, but lots of fun stuff coming up. April is also booked because we got, again, we have a stacked lineup. In Brightest Day, For the Love of Progress, Cause and Effect, the Vegas show during Mania weekend as part of the GCW Collective, which is going to be nuts. So I'm looking forward to all of that. And hopefully, when we cover chapter 190 in Brightest Day, hopefully we get the full panel because I would also love Andrew to be here because Andrew really loves Progress. And without Andrew, I don't think I would have been part of this. Also, shout out to Progress Wrestling, who continues to send us emails and messages letting us know that they love that we're covering their stuff. So shout out to the Progress crew over there for being super fantastic. We love y'all. But we got to get up on out of here. We got a very, very fun week ahead of us. Tomorrow evening, you can see the AEW crew talk about Dynamite and Collision, which had some very solid graps and some really good developments and some interesting stuff. Like,
Collision especially was a little weird, but yeah.
So we got all of that coming. Then Wednesday, you have the doubleheader of NXT and CMLL as we are gearing up for this ladder match for the vacant NXT championship. Also, we are setting up what February is going to look like for CMLL, and all of the crossovers from AEW as well has been really fantastic. Then originally there was something on Thursday, but MLW decided to fight me on this. So Major League Wrestling's Battle Riot is going to be watched in 2 weeks when the tape delay is released. So I'm a little bummed about that, but
Hey,
that's
but
okay.
Mikey gets a much needed night off, so you know what? No one's unhappy about that.
Nope. And then we're going to end the week off on Friday with our TNA review as we are reviewing now that some changes have happened. We're going to figure out, what are the results of the Feast or Fired briefcases, who
That
is
wasn't
getting a world
spoiled already by them the week before, but yep, okay.
the audio, at least the world title. So we're going to figure out who got the world title shot, who gets the tag team championship match, who is going after the X division, and who is getting fired. God, I hope it's not Macklin because I will cry so hard. I was like, you need a baby face in this company because Leon Slater's visa issues are not letting him be that baby face right now.
Nah, they're all baby faces because they're under the WWE thumb. Anyhow,
Anywho, but thank you so much for tuning in to the Progresses review. We will be back in 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, give or take, to cover In Brightest Day, and hopefully the full panel will be here. But for myself, JVL, and the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more important than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will see you tomorrow for AEW. But until then, sayonara, adios,
we love you.
and we love you. And until then, peace.